Okay then, Raiders, we are back. We've got loads to go over today, as it appears that the studio are having some problems yet again with the servers, as they seem to be down right now. We've also got to take a look into what it is that CM Lily was talking about with regards to the ducks, because it seems like they were toying with us the entire time. And maybe we will get some more PvP weapons and some skill movements, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be leaning too heavily into the PvP areas. It's going to be an intriguing one to take a look at, as Virgil Watkins gives us everything. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. Be greatly appreciated. Make sure you check out our incredible sponsor, GamerSupps, the company that offer esports athletes and gamers alike with the most effective and healthy energy drink option. We've now got new releases dropping most weeks, so click the link in the description, use code CloudPlays at checkout for a cheeky discount. On top of that, we're giving away a copy of the game, or if you've already got it, Raider tokens will be replacing it. It's very simple to get involved. Head down to the comment section and put in any coloured love heart and it'll enter you in. We'll be announcing that on Tuesday when we get the new skin launch, so make sure you stay tuned to it. With that being said, let's dive into the game and see what's happening right now inside of Arc Raiders. So starting off, if any of you guys are wondering what's going on with the service right now, people have been messaging the community managers all over Discord asking what's going on with the servers, and both CM Lily and CM Fox have both responded to the same person at the same time, saying that the team is looking into the server issues. They're aware that it's happening, and hopefully it'll be resorted to in very, very quick time, meaning that hopefully we don't have this issue for the rest of the weekend. Make sure you stay tuned to it and let me know via the comment section if your servers are up and running, so other players then know whether it's worth their time at logging on. Next up, though, we've also got to talk about the ducks, as we spoke about this just yesterday as CM Lily was playing around. Some people were asking when we'd get the new duck emotes, and CM Lily stated, what if not all of them have been discovered yet? That obviously led into an open conversation as to whether more ducks were actually around. And then yesterday afternoon, we managed to receive this message right here coming from CM Lily, which was, yes, you got it, an image of all of the emotes for the ducks. So it appears that maybe Lily was just reaching out a little bit too much there, and there probably isn't any more ducks to be found. I think that maybe we've hit them all on the head, which is unfortunate, man, because I really wanted a legendary duck. Really wanted a legendary duck. I mean, like a solid gold one would have just been absolutely incredible. I can imagine that as well. Solid gold duck. Damn, that would have been cool. Moving on from that, though, we've got to talk about a piece that has gone up on Arc Raiders now via X, which was talking about how Virgil Watkins was talking about the underwhelming skills. They go on to state securely right here that Embark has acknowledged that the current skill tree in Arc Raiders needs improvement. According to the devs, underwhelming skills are 100% on their radar, and the internal discussions about changes are already happening. While no timeline or specifics have been shared, it's clear a rework is being considered to make progression more impactful. Do you think that the skill tree needs a full overhaul or just a few key buffs? Now, interesting indeed, as they do obviously lean into the factor of the expeditions when you look at this. The skill trees themselves, they are quite underwhelming in terms of what it is that they actually do, and they only have slight minute changes to some of the attributes overall. I think that it would be nice to see some higher percentages, and we'll have to wait and see how that operates, and especially if you're going to be going in for more skill points via the expedition, I think that they probably need to be a little bit more effective to be able to obtain those few extra skill points that other people just don't have. Now, that's not all that they actually spoke about in terms of the articles with Virgil Watkins. There was another conversation that was actually happening with regards to this titling, stating right here that Arc Raiders adding legendary guns aimed at PvP is completely possible, but Embark bans any one-shot kills. I think the gameplay is deeply boring. Now, that is a huge statement made by Virgil Watkins, because essentially leaning into the idea that PvP weapons in terms of legendaries could actually be viable. For those of you guys who don't already know them, we obviously have a few legendary weapons at this point in time already, like the Jupiter, the Equalizer, and the Aphelion. They are all very cool weapons, but they are primarily PvE, and if you try to use them for PvP, you're probably going to be met with not a very nice outcome. Well, he actually leans into the conversation and states that it is very likely that they could do something like that, but there will never ever be a one-shot situation if you're wearing a shield and have full health. I think it's something that makes the gameplay deeply boring just to be deleted in an instant in our type of game. Now, it also means that then legendary weapons don't become really too legendary, because they will be sat on par with maybe the purples that currently have in hand, like the Bobcat and so on and so forth. He goes on to state, though, that if we were to do something like that, it's substantially stronger in PvP. It needs to come with the appropriate price tag, running costs, risks, not in any way against against players having a spike in power and feeling very cool for a moment, but it can't be like, I've unlocked this thing and now I just win every fight. Which obviously, I don't think anybody really wants that to happen in terms of this, and it'll be interesting to see how it is that they play it forward going into future updates moving in over the next few months. We are now rolling into February, which is obviously going to be opening up to some new stuff inside of the roadmap, which if we just take a quick look at what the roadmap has actually got on here, we've got a new map condition, new arc threat, player project, raider deck, map update, and expedition window, which are all looking like they're probably going to be mid to late February at this point, with the most recent launch for Headwinds literally coming up towards the end of January. We've probably got a few weeks until that eventually comes in, but is it going to bring new stuff to the table? I don't actually know. Map conditions are probably one of those things where new weapons won't roll in. We may not be rolling any new weapons until maybe the new map in April, because that's essentially how they introduce them, right? You are able to get new items and new things, and then you can obviously craft new weapons out of what you obviously obtain from those new maps. So that's when we saw the Aphelion blueprint. That's how those generally operate, but we'll see exactly how that one plays out. I'm extremely intrigued because I don't know how they could run that into a PvP narrative. They've already said this isn't a primarily PvP game. It doesn't seem to be treated that way by players, but that's what they've stated in the past. So let me know your ideas via the comment section below. Do you reckon that a PvP heavy legendary weapon would be good to have? Or do you think that it will just make it a little bit too overpowered in the current eco-climate of Arc Raiders PvP? Moving on from that though, we've got a funny one because I just wanted to show you this. This received nearly 10,000 upvotes over on Reddit. So here it is right here from 81 NMLS Bucko, who states right here 168 Raider flares at once. That is blimey. That's impressive. That's really, really impressive. Not only that, but it looks pretty cool. Could you imagine being some of the people in the map just seeing that go up? You'd wonder what the F was going on. Yeah, it's crazy. People were stating that there was no DDoS attack. It was just this guy that wrecked the servers with the flares. Hilarious, man. Hilarious. Moving on from that, though, we got to take a look at your top comments, because you guys had a lot to say about our previous video where we spoke about the fact that the devs needed to fix a massive problem, and then they're talking about nerfing the free loadouts, which primarily is going to be a bit of an issue for those of you guys who play a little more casually. That's the honest opinion of it. And when you obviously have to go back in and farm materials, you're likely to do it with a free loadie because, well, there's nothing to risk, and you can obviously get your stuff set back up. But anyway, you guys had a lot to say. Somebody stated right here called Cheeto. Anyone thinking about using the dupe glitch? Remember, Embark are pulling crazy amounts of data per round from items picked up, when they were picked up, and where you were, where Arc were, and all it takes is a single look and they can easily tell that you've done it. So yeah, you need to be careful with that. The duplication glitch obviously has been showcased around the globe now via different social media linkings, and just make sure you don't do it because they are bannable offenses. So if you're tempted to do it, I probably wouldn't. Moving on from that, this one states right here, I did notice a lack of lootables in the apartments on Bluegate, which is really, really odd. And just as a duplication glitch is actually coming in, there's now less loot that you can actually find on the map. It makes no sense to me really at all. I don't know why they've actually done that, but it has seemed to have had a bit of a stealth nerf in terms of the lootable items around the map. Let me know if you guys are still having that issue. And the final one right here from Khaled states, free loadout loot is already S. Now, yes, I do agree with that, to be completely honest. I'm not a massive fan of the free loadout loot, but it does help when I want to go in and get different items so that I can start crafting up some better loadouts and start getting my Venator back in play again. That's just how I operate with the free loadouts. I warm up with a free loadout run, and then if I run out of gear inside of my stash, then I'll use a free loadout to go ahead and start farming for materials all over again. It just is seeming to be the easiest way to play the game. Hopefully, they don't nerf it too hard, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Unfortunately, that's all we got time for today, though. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. I appreciate all your faces. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and as always, until the next time, I'll see you in the clouds.